Hello everyone and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight we're going to continue with our playthrough of Nemo's War, the Ultimate Edition. This is episode 4. Before we begin, I have a few corrections to make from the previous video. When Act 3 came in, I misread the card. I didn't have my glasses on, so I misread it as we were able to change Nemo's motive or select a Nautilus upgrade card for purchase. Well, I thought that said for free. So we ended up selecting the Clockwork Cipher, and I didn't have the salvage points available to purchase that. So we're going to put that back. We're not entitled to that. So we'll put that back into the upgrades area. And the other correction we had dealt with this mechanic upgrade that we had for one of our characters. And it says to discard to cancel all hull losses from one occasion. And during the play, I ruled that it would be only able to cancel one of the damages to the hull. And in reality, I think when it says occasion, that means from one source. So when we lost 2 points on the hull, we should have repaired probably 2. So I'm going to move that up 1, up to fighting trim. And that's going to be the end of the corrections that I had, and we'll begin our playthrough. The Nautilus is currently in the European seas, and we'll take a look at the tonnage track, and I'll tell you what I'm kind of planning on doing. In order for us to gain this scouring the seas bonus that we see at the top of each of these columns, we have to fill all of those ships slots with ships there. So what I'm going to try to do is we need to get ships in the European seas, South Atlantic, and Eastern Pacific. So I'm going to try to harvest ships in the European seas in order to maybe fill up 2 boxes if we can. Then I'm going to move into the South Atlantic and try to take a couple there, and then we'll go through Cape Horn. I have a card that we can play that might be useful to us, and that is the Aurora Australis. And we can play that if the Nautilus begins an action phase in Cape Horn, and that's worth a wonder to us. So I think we're going to try to do that. And then while we're passing through Cape Horn, we'll go to the Eastern Pacific and try to get a couple prizes in that location. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. And we'll begin by drawing our event card. That card is revealed to be Event 54, the Chief Engineer.
Wen Zhu was wanted by the imperial government and had escaped from Canton through Hong Kong. Stocky and strong with a love of song, Wen Zhu's hands stayed busy crafting things for the Nautilus or those aboard with remarkable cleverness and invention.
All right, that is a keep card, and it says that we can fail it and gain 1 notoriety for 1 free refit action with a brilliance result, meaning we can gain an upgrade for 1 fewer salvage. At game's end, we could pass it if the chief engineer is not sacrificed. Otherwise, it is a failure. Well, we have lost the chief engineer, so we'll try to possibly utilize that. That might be a great card for us. And now we're going to make our placement roll. Okay, we've rolled 2 3s, a 5, and a 6. So our options would be to have a lull turn using the 2 3s, or use the 3 and the 5 and gain 2 action points, and I think that's what we'll do. Now, if we did take the lull turn, we wouldn't have to place a ship in Ocean 6 because the black die are not calculated in a lull turn, so that would be the advantage for us if we did choose to do that, but we'd have no action points. So I'm going to go with the 3 and the 5. It's going to give us 2 action points, and I think that will work better for us. All right, we'll begin with Ocean 3. We have to make 2 placements in Ocean 3. Now that's filled up. All of the adjoining areas have hidden ship tokens, so that means we have to reveal a ship token and place it in the North Atlantic or in an adjoining ocean. All right, and that ship is revealed to be the Cutty Sark. It's a British clipper, has a victory point value of 2, Hull strength is 9. All right, we'll place that, I think, in the North Atlantic. And now we have to make one more draw for Ocean 3. And that one is the Triumph. That is a British whaler. We gain 1 treasure for taking that. Okay, I'm going to place that in the European seas. All right, now we have to place one in Zone 5. We have a hidden ship token available to place in the Indian Ocean, which is adjoined. We'll do that. And then finally, we have to place one in 6. And that is unfortunately going to mandate that we draw a ship token. So we'll draw it and see what we get. And that one is the Tai Tsing, a British clipper. We'll place that in the, I guess in the Indian Ocean. All right, those are all of the placements, and now we can take our 2 actions. Now, as I said earlier, we need to harvest some ships in the European seas, South Atlantic, and Eastern Pacific in order to gain those scouring of the seas bonuses. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a chance. We do have the reinforced armor, so that will help us against warships. I'm going to do a bold attack in the European seas, and we'll start with the Arapilles. That's going to cost us 1 action point, and we're able to attack as many ships as we want for that 1 action point. Every ship we attack after the first, though, is going to cost us notoriety. All right, the Arapilles is going to fire on the Nautilus. It has a combat strength of 6, but we're going to be adding 1 because of our reinforced armor. Here's the roll. And they rolled a 9, that's modified to a 10, so we've escaped damage from the Arapilles. And now we're going to try to sink this thing. It has a hull strength of 10. And I think what we're going to do is expend the crew. That's going to give us a +3. All right, here is the roll. We rolled an 8, +3 is 11, and we've sunk the Arapilles. That's great. Now the notoriety is going to climb by 1. We're up to 23. We're getting close to 26, which is with the green ships being added. We're going to place the Arapilles, I think, in the European seas tonnage track. So we'll place that on the tonnage track, and now we're going to continue on with our bold attack. So our next bold attack is going to be against the Triumph. Now we have to increase notoriety, unfortunately, for that. So that's going to put us up to 24. And now we're going to make our attack on the Triumph. We're also going to expend the crew. That'll give us a +3. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled a 10. That's awesome. All right, so we have successfully taken the Triumph as a prize. Notoriety will go up another 1. We're up to 25 now. And we're going to place that on the tonnage track, and that's going to give us 1 treasure, which is great. So we'll draw our treasure, see what that amounts to. And we've gained a retain token. Discard for 1 action or keep for 2 treasure. All right. I think we'll use that right now. I think that would be good. So we'll spend that. And that's going to give us an extra action. We're up to 2 actions now. And I think we're going to do a move action. I'm going to head down to the South Atlantic. So we're going to spend 1 action, do a move, and that allows us with our hydro drive to move 2 zones. And I'm going to head down to the South Atlantic. So we're going to move through the North Atlantic into the South Atlantic. We have 1 action point remaining, and I think we're going to continue on with our bold attack. I'm going to start with the Taiping. It'll cost us 1 action, and we're able to hopefully clear the sea of the ocean of those ships, and we'll add those to our salvage track. All right, once again, we're going to expend our crew. That's going to give us a +3, and the hull is a 9. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled 9, plus 3 is 12, and we've taken the Taiping as a prize. It's going to increase the notoriety by 1, and that's going to unfortunately move us up to 26, which is going to add those green vessels into the mix. We're going to place the Taiping in the South Atlantic on the salvage track. All right, let's take a look at the notoriety track. So the notoriety track is going to move up 1, and that's going to add all these green ships into the mix. So we'll put those into the ship bag. Give that a good shuffle. I would have liked to have tried to prevent that with some insight actions, but time's cutting short, and I need to get that tonnage track to be filled up the way we need it. All right, now we're going to continue on with our bold attack, and we're going to have to raise the notoriety up another one. We're up to 27. If we get up to 36, we lose the game, so I can't do too much more of this. All right, so we're going to make a bold attack against the Ellen Southard. That is a American flagged vessel. Has a hull strength of 10, and once again, we're going to expend the crew. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 7, plus 3 for the crew is 10, and that's sufficient to take out the Ellen Southern. And unfortunately, that is going to raise our notoriety by 2. It's going to put us up to 29, and I think we're going to need to do some insight actions. We're going to place the Ellen Southern in the South Atlantic. That's starting to fill up nicely. All right, that is our last action point. And I'm going to do a quick check here to see about our retain tokens that we have. Maybe we'll spend some of those. And I think we are going to spend 1. We got a retain token, discard, to gain 1 crew. So that'll move our crew up from fresh up to more fresh, but that's going to award us some victory points if we can maintain that level. So that retain token is discarded. All right, we're going to start a new round, and here is the adventure card. And that one is Event 52, the First Officer. And that is a wonder, which is great for us.
Mr. Rojas was a formidable Spanish Indian woman. Her surprising height and strength were comparable to Ned's. Her eyes saw everything, yielding nothing, and her voice was a hoarse whisper when she spoke and a boom when she shouted commands.
All right, this is a keep card, and we can fail that and immediately gain 2 random repairs. Rolls for 2 hits, but instead increase the indicated resources. At game's end, we would pass it if the first officer is not sacrificed, otherwise it would fail. Well, we would certainly like to maintain that first officer and gain that wonder. So we'll put that card in our keep area. All right. And now here comes our placement roll. All right, we rolled 1, 2, and 4, 4. I'm going to use the 1 and the 4. It's going to give us 3 action points. And now we'll make our ship placements. All right, we have to make a placement in Ocean 1. That plus all of the adjoiners are filled, so we'll have to draw a ship token and place it in the Western Pacific or in an adjoining place. And that one is the British Ironside Prince Albert. And I think what we'll do is we'll place that one in the South Pacific. All right, the next one is in Ocean 2. Ocean 2 is filled up and the adjoiners are filled, so we'll have to draw another ship token. Let's see what that one is. Hopefully we can avoid some of these large warships. And that is the French armored frigate Themis. All right, I think we'll place that one in the Central Pacific. That's adjoining the Eastern Pacific. Next, we have to place 2 ships in Ocean 4. And fortunately, we've made some room there. So we'll place 2 hidden ship tokens in Ocean 4. All right, now we have 3 actions available. All right, I think our first action in the South Atlantic is going to I think we're going to do a search action. There's 1 gem there. So we're going to expend the crew, giving us a +3 modifier, and we're going to try to make a roll and search for treasure in the South Atlantic. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled an 8, that's modified to an 11, and that's a success. We're going to gain 1 treasure. All right, we'll make a draw from the treasure bag. And that is a 2-point treasure. The gem is now consumed, and we'll place that treasure token in our collected treasures area. All right, we're going to spend our next action. That'll move us down to 1 action remaining. And we're going to attempt to incite. We have several places that we can place incite tokens at. And that's going to hopefully reduce our notoriety. Once again, we're going to expend the crew. That'll give us a +3. And I really would like to pass this, so I think we're going to make a somewhat major investment in this to try to pass this and get a revolt result, which would move our notoriety down 2. I'm going to expend as well a 4-point treasure, so that's going to give us a total of +7 on the roll. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled a 7, +7 is 14. That's going to give us the revolt result that we wanted. We'll be able to place a cube on, we'll put it in the Ashanti Wars. And more importantly, that is going to award us -2 notoriety. So our notoriety will move down from 29 down to 27. We have to be very careful about that 36. That's an instant loss for us. And for our last action, I think what I'm going to do is we'll spend that and do a move action. We're going to move 2 sea zones using our hydro drive. We're going to move from the South Atlantic into the Eastern Pacific. I need to get a couple prizes there in order to gain those scouring of the seas bonuses. And then after we do that, we'll come back and try to deal with this Hercules. And in Cape Horn, we'll be able to utilize our Aurora Australis card, which is going to give us a wonder for that. So we'll make our move. It'll be 2 sea zones into the Eastern Pacific. That'll end the turn. And we'll begin a new round, and here is the event. And that one is event number 100, the Christmas Miracle.
On 24 December, the crew assembled above decks to witness their Christmas miracle. A row of glass balls glowing for a time before yielding to the night. Captain Nemo had for a time pushed back the darkness with electricity.
All right, this is a play card. Roll a die and count that many spaces down from the first spaces on the Nemo and crew resource tracks. If that count is equal to or greater than, we would either fail it, pass it, or if both, we would pass it and gain a Nemo. All right. All right, we'll make our roll. Roll is a 3, so let's go to the track and find out what the result is of that. All right, so we're supposed to check the Nemo and crew resource tracks, starting at the top track, counting down 1, 2, 3. And it says if the count is equal to or greater than either resource or both resources. Well, it would be. And it'd be this column, and both of those are greater than. So we would qualify for the bottom one. Both resources will pass it and gain a Nemo. Well, we can't gain any more Nemo, but we've passed the card, and that's worth 1 science. So we'll put that in our pass area. All right. And now we'll make our placement roll. All right, we've rolled a 2, 2, 4, and 5. And we'll use the 2 and the 5. That's going to award us 3 actions. And now we'll make our ship placements. All right, we have to make a placement in Ocean 2. That's where we are. And those are all filled up, including the adjoiners. So we'll draw a ship token and see what we get. Okay, that's the Tinwald. It's a mail vessel, 3 notoriety. Oh boy. All right, I think we'll place that in the Central Pacific. I don't want to take that one out necessarily because of that notoriety. Now we have to place another one in Zone 2. Okay, here's the pick. And that one is a Deadly Seas token. And that says Coastal Village. Discard and you may place one, what is that? Oh, that's a cube. 1 cube at this ocean if able. Well, we'll do that. That's great. And are we able to do it? No, there's no land formations in the Eastern Pacific, unfortunately. Yeah, no, there is not. So, all right. So that because we're trying to place that on a hidden ship, that hidden ship remains where it is, and the token's discarded. All right. Now we move on to Ocean 4. We cannot place any hidden ships there, so we'll be drawing one. And this one is the French capital ship, Bordeaux. Okay, we'll place that in, let's see here, I guess it's going to have to be in the South Atlantic. All right, and then finally in Ocean 5. In Ocean 5 we have room, so we'll place a hidden ship token there. And now we have a total of 3 actions that we can spend. Okay. All right, we need to take some prizes in the Eastern Pacific. We have the choice of the bold attack or the stealth attack. We have sufficient action points, so I think I'm going to play this a little slower. And we're going to do a stalk attack, I think. That's going to cost us 1. That'll give us a bonus, plus we can decide whether or not we want to fight whatever we draw. There's a lot of bad ships in the bag right now. Okay, here is the target for the Nautilus. And that is the British slaver vessel, the Syria. If we can harvest that, we're going to gain 1 crew. All right, so let's do that. Has a hull strength of 7. I'm going to expend the crew. That'll give us a +3, +1 for the stalk. We have a +4. We rolled a 7. That's up to an 11, and we're successful. That's great. Fortunately for us, there's no notoriety cost on that. We're going to gain 1 crew. So we'll move our crew up to its maximum level, which is fantastic. And I'm going to place the Syria on the tonnage track for the Eastern Pacific. And we've now got that entire roll, so we're going to be guaranteed 8 victory points for scouring the seas of that first column. We get 1 more there. We're going to be up to 12. That's great. And I think following suit, we're going to spend another action point, and I'm going to do another stalk attack in the Eastern Pacific. So we'll draw a ship token. Hopefully we can get lucky here. And that one is the British mail vessel, the Thermopylae. All right, well, I think we'll just, it's worth 2 notoriety, unfortunately, but we'll give it a shot. So we are going to expend the crew. It'll give us a +3, +1 for the stalk. It's +4. Has a hull strength of 8. 7 + 4 is 11, and that's more than enough to sink the Thermopylae. That's great. The notoriety is going to climb by 2. We're back up to 29. And we'll place that in the tonnage track, and that's going to fill up the second column. It's going to earn us 12 victory points. All right, we have an available treasure in the Eastern Pacific, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend our last action point, and we're going to search. So we're going to gain a +3 for this, And here's the roll. We rolled a 6, that's a total of 9, and that's a success, and we're going to gain a treasure. So let's get the old treasure bag out and see what we find. This time we get a 4-point treasure token. All right, we'll add that to our collected treasures. The gem is put back into supply, and that's going to be enough to end the turn. So we built a very healthy set of collected treasures, and that's great. Okay, we're going to go back to the map, and we're going to continue on. And here's our next event. Event number 13, Lost Time.
We had run aground at full tide, an inconvenient state of affairs for floating the Nautilus off. But although it could neither sink nor split open, it was in serious danger of being permanently attached to those reefs. And that would have been the finish of Captain Nemo's submersible.
All right, that is a play card. It says reduce the number of Nautilus upgrade cards available for purchase by 1 of your choice from among those available. Discard it. It is out of play for the rest of the game, and then we fail that card. All right, so we place this in the fail area, and then we have to get rid of one of the upgrades. And those are our choices, and I think it's a pretty simple choice. We're going to choose the hospital machines. That isn't going to do well with us in our current motive, so we'll permanently get rid of that. And now we'll make our placement roll. All right, we've rolled a 1, 4, 6, and a 6. And I'm definitely going to use the 1 and the 6. That's going to give us a total of 5 actions. That's awesome. And now we'll make our ship placements. First one's in the Western Pacific, and that's completely filled up. So we'll draw a ship and place it accordingly. And that is a Sea Serpent. All right, that's worth 5 for warship, 1 science. It's a pretty tough one, though. I think we'll place that in the Arctic Ocean, kind of keep that out of the way, so to speak. All right, the next one we have to place is in Zone 4. And that is also filled up, so we'll be drawing one for Ocean 4. And that is the Donau. And that is a, I think that's a German passenger vessel, yes. We'll place that in the South Atlantic. And then we have to place 2 of them in Zone 6. Well, the first one we can do is place a hidden ship token in the European seas. And the next one we'll have to draw a ship token for in the Indian Ocean. And that is the British capital ship, the Repulse. All right, and I think we will place that one in, we'll place that in the European seas. All right, that is the extent of our placements, and we'll move on. Now we have 5 action points. All right, I think my first step is to spend an action, and we're going to move into the Cape Horn area. And once there, we can play our Aurora Australis card. And that, we have to begin the action phase in Cape Horn. Okay, so we can't necessarily play that yet. All right, we'll wait. And then we've moved into Cape Horn. So I think what we'll do then is we'll spend another action, and we're going to attempt a sneak attack on the Hercules. Now we still have Conseil that would give us a reroll if we need it. We also have 2 retain tokens which give us rerolls. So we're in pretty good shape if something negative happens to befall us. So I think what we'll do is the Hercules is going to make its attack on the Nautilus. It has a combat value of 8. We're going to use our reinforced armor, giving us a +1 DRM. Here's the roll. The roll's a 4, +1 is a 5. So we would fail that. I think we're going to spend one of our rerolls. Discard to gain a reroll. All right, here is the reroll. +1 for the reinforced armor. And that's a 10 modified to an 11, so we're not going to take any damage from the Hercules. But now we have to score an 11 or higher. And we're going to use the crew. It'll give us a +3 and a +1 for the stalk attack is +4. Okay, this is a tough one. Here's the roll. And we rolled a 3. That's a failure. I'm going to use my second retain token to do a reroll. +4. We rolled a 6. +4 is 10, and that is not sufficient. That's bad. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to try it again. I'm going to use Conseil, and we're going to have to take him out and get a reroll, and just hope that we can do this. +4. And we failed. Total of 7. So we're going to take 1 damage from this vessel. So we've gambled the crew and we've lost. So that goes down to fresh. And now we have to make a roll on the damage table. Find out where the random damage is going to be allocated. And that's going to be in 3. That's the crew. And now that's down to fresh. So that was a bad attack for us. It's too bad, and I burned a lot of those rerolls. All right. All right, we have 3 actions left. And I thought about renewing the attack on the Hercules, but we have no rerolls remaining. And we do have a +3 die roll modifier after the roll if we were to... oh wait, I just saw something. Our first officer has daring, and that says discard to cancel all crew losses from 1 occasion. So we'll be able to cancel those crew losses that we just sustained. So that'll move our crew back up to full, which is great. Actually, yeah, that would be move it up to, well, no, it will cancel. We lost 1, so that would move us up to back up to fresh. That's right. So we'll do that. We'll spend that daring ability. It'll limit the damage. And now that kind of changes it a little bit. We'd have to undergo another attack from the Hercules and then try to roll an 8 or greater if we expend the crew to sink that thing. I wanted to stay in Cape Horn to be able to play that Aurora Australis keep card. We have to start the action phase there in order to claim that. Yeah, that might be too tall of an order. I think what we'll do is we're going to spend... these retained tokens are gone. We'll get rid of those. I think what we'll do is... Oh boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, we can't stay there because if we even if we try to do repairs or rest actions, the warships are going to give us minus a negative die roll modifier, so we don't want to necessarily stay there. I'm going to think about this for a little bit. Well, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to spend 1 action and we're going to do a move with our hydro drive, moving us 2 zones, 1 and 2, into the Central Pacific. What I'm going to do is next I'm going to spend an action point and we're going to do a stalk attack on the armored frigate Themis. If we can get rid of of that warship, then we'll be able to do a incite action. And although there would be a revealed ship token there, we don't want to necessarily take out that time wall. That's 3 notoriety. So we'll do this. And we'll do the stalk attack on the Themis. All right, the Themis is going to fire on us. We have reinforced armor. We'll be adding 1 to the result. It has a combat strength of 6. We rolled boxcars. That's great, so no damage. Now we have to attempt to sink this ship. It has an armor of hull value of 10. I'm going to expend the crew, giving us a +3. And the stalk attack will give us a +1, that's +4. Okay, here is the roll. Oh, we rolled snake eyes. Oh, that's terrible. And that reads, If the natural result is snake eyes, this is a disaster. The target is unaffected regardless of DRMs. You gain 2 notoriety. The survivors' stories of this encounter are consistent, featured in newspapers, and make your efforts seem pathetic, and lose 2 ship resources of the type you exerted. If you exerted any, and we did. Oh. Alright, so we've gambled the crew, and that goes to fresh. Now we lose 2 of the resources. So that's going to move us down to fit and 2 notoriety, moving us up to 31. That was an absolute disaster. Oh, that couldn't have gotten any worse. Okay, we have 1 action point left. I don't want to remain in that ocean because the warship is going to affect the next adventure card test that we might have if we're there. So I think we're going to use that as a move action, and I'm going to move into the Eastern Pacific. There are no revealed ships there. I think that's a little safer for us. Oh. All right, we'll start a new turn. Hopefully we can recover from that. Here's the next event. And that one is Event 49, the Korea Incident.
Captain Nemo glowered at Ned for his remarks in favor of the Americans and growled, "Even now, Mr. Land, the Americans desire to force open trade with the reclusive Koreans. And just as they did in Japan 15 years ago, the Americans are sending a war fleet to articulate their interests."
All right, that is a keep card. When the Nautilus sails into the Western Pacific, you may intervene on Korea's behalf, and that is an 11-point test, allowing us to expend Nemo and the crew. If we were to pass it, we would place up to 1d3 uprising cubes in any ocean locations. If we were to fail it, we would lose 2 crew or gain 4 notoriety. At game's end, it has failed. Well, that's a little risky for us. I don't think we're going to be undertaking that, but we'll see. All right, now we're going to make our placement roll. And we've rolled a 1, 1, 2, and 6. All right, I'm wondering if there's any advantage for us to take the lull turn. We have no action points. Probably not. We'll use the 1 and the 6, giving us another 5 action points. And now we'll make our ship placements. All right, we have to place 2 ships in Zone 1, and Zone 1 is filled up, so we'll be drawing a ship token. Here's the first one, and that is the American freighter Britannia. And I think we'll place that in the Western Pacific. And we have to draw 1 more. And that is, it's a red one, the Zealous. That is a British Ironside, very strong. And I think we'll place that one in the Indian Ocean. Next is Zone 2. We can place a hidden ship token there. And finally, Zone 6. And Zone 6 is filled up, so we'll be drawing a ship token. And that one is the U.S. steam cruiser, the Idaho. Well, to keep these from being able to support each other, I think we'll place that in the Western Pacific. That's adjoining the Indian Ocean. All right. Well, we have no warships or any revealed ships in the Eastern Pacific, so I think this might be a good time for us to do a rest action, and that would hopefully allow us to gain some crew back. So let's do that. Now the rest action says we can exert either Nemo or Hull during this, and I think we'll exert Nemo. That'll give us a +2. And let's see what else we can do here. Anyone spent treasure, and -1 if any warships are present. So right now we have a +2. And I think we will exert a 3-point treasure. That'll give us a total of +5 to this test, and I'm trying to get our crew back to better condition. Here's the roll, +5. We rolled a 3, +5 is 8. 8 on a rest action is suspected. Gain 1 crew, but also 1 notoriety. All right, so that action cost us two actions. Is it? I'm sorry, I should have looked at that. That's two actions. And we're going to gain a crew, but we also gain a notoriety. We're within 4 points of losing the game. I got to be very, very careful. We definitely need to do some insights. There's no doubt about that. I am going to spend 1 action. We're going to return to the Central Pacific, where there is an available insight action there. But before we do that, we're going to spend 1 more action, and we're going to do a stalk attack once again on the Themis. We want to get rid of that warship so that doesn't adversely affect our attempts. Now in this case, I'm going to exert Nemo. It's going to give us a +2, and we'll gain +1 for the stalk attack. But first, we have to roll to find out the attack from the Themis. Now we have the reinforced armor. It has a combat strength of 6. We'll be adding +1. 4 + 1 is 5. Oh my goodness. I have no rerolls. Okay, so we have taken damage, 1 point of damage from the Themis. All right, we'll make a roll for the damage and see what has been damaged. All right, here's the damage roll. Rolls a 3, that's going to affect the crew, so the crew will be moved down to fit. All right, now we're going to make our attack on the Themis. All right, I'm going to exert Nemo. It's going to give us a +2 and +1 for the stalk attack, and that's a total of +3. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 7, +3 is 10, and that's just enough to take out the Themis. It's going to raise our notoriety by 1. We're up to 33. And we'll place that on the salvage track. And that's in the Central Pacific, so we could add that either to Western or Eastern Pacific. And I think we'll add that to the Eastern Pacific. All right. Well, I don't think we have much of an option. We're going to have to attempt an insight action. And we're going to be getting a -1 modifier because there is a revealed ship token, which is the Tinwald. So I'm going to be exerting Nemo. That's +2. -1 for the Tinwald. We're only at a +1. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 6, that's modified to a 7, and the result of that is apathy, no effect. Now I can attempt to use the first officer, and she is going to gain us +3 dice roll modifier after the roll. That would give us a total of 7 + 3 is 10. It would be a success at least. And we have a chance on, she's lucky. If we do sacrifice her, we roll a d6, and on a result of 4, 5, or 6, we don't have to sacrifice her, and we still get the benefit. So I think we'll try it. So we're going to sacrifice her, and if we can get a 4, 5, or 6, she'll survive. And we didn't. Okay, the first officer has been eliminated. It's going to cost us -1 Nemo, but we are going to succeed at the insight. It's an uprising. We'll put that in Kamchatkas, Hawaii. That's going to give us -1 notoriety. That'll move us down to 32. So that's going to cost us a Nemo. He's down to strong, and we've recovered one notoriety, giving us a little bit of breathing room, not much. And that's all of our action points for the turn. These last few turns have been just terrible. And we'll continue on with another event card. And this time it's Event 87, Spy Network.
The speed and force of world events create winds of change and tides of fortune. I was invited to join a council of officers digesting news stories from an array of sources. Nemo sought patterns, meanings, and portents for his plans.
All right, this is a keep card. When the Nautilus is in the European seas, you may gain one notoriety to send forth spies. And that's a level 10 test. I don't think we're going to be able to try that because any type of movement on the notoriety track will not be good for us. All right, we're going to make our ship placement roll now. And here's the roll. We rolled a 2, 2, and a 4, and a 4. All right. All right, I think in this case, I am going to take the Lull turn. It's going to eliminate us having to use that black die for placement. We'll have to place ships on 2, 2, and 4. We have no action points though, but I think that might be our best bet. So we'll be only using the white dice for placement, and we'll start with Ocean 2. We have space there for the moment. We have to place another one in Ocean 2. That's filled up, but we have space in the Central Pacific. Then we have to place one in Ocean 4. Ocean 4 is filled, so we're going to need to place a ship token, and that's going to have to go into the South Atlantic. And that is the Austria-Hungary Ferdinand Max. It's an ironclad. And unfortunately now there's 2 capital ships in there. It's going to make any type of an attack in there much more difficult. Okay, the next step of the Lull turn is to place treasure available in the Doubles Ocean, which is in Ocean 2. We can place one there. And then we place a treasure token on the Adventures deck. That will be the first token on that deck now. And now we have to check our uprising cubes. All right. And there's going to be several rolls on this now. Well, we're not going to be able to expend any notoriety to try to save any of these if they do fail. So we'll start with the Western Pacific. We have 2 cubes and we have 1 warship. So that's a total of 3. And the modifiers, actually, I read this, it says we have to add up the number of uprising tokens and revealed ships, not warships. So it's a total of 4 in the Western Pacific. We're going to make a d6 roll. If the number is 4 or greater, we're fine. If it's less than 4, the imperialist powers have succeeded in pushing back against our ventures, and we would have to abandon support by removing 1 upgrade cube. Okay, here is the roll for the Western Pacific. Rolls of 5, we're good. Okay, we'll check our next area with an uprising cube, and that's in the Central Pacific. We have 1 cube and 1 revealed ship. So on a roll of anything but a 1, we're safe. We're good. All right, next is the North Atlantic, and that has a total of 4 revealed ships with 1 cube. That's a total of 5. The only way we can get out of this is if we roll 5 or 6. And we failed, so we're going to lose the cube there. Mexican independence failed. Now we'll move on to the South Atlantic. That has a total of 3 ships and 1 cube, so that's a 4. We need to roll 4, 5, or 6. Otherwise, we're going to lose a cube. We're good. We rolled a 6. All right. And finally, we have the last cube is in the Indian Ocean. There's a total of 2 ships and 1 cube. That's 3. Anything but a 1 or 2, and we're okay. And of course, we rolled a 2, so we're going to lose the cube there. Oh boy, not good. All right, that is the end of the lull turn. We have no action points. And we could expend our second officer. He would give us one action point. But, well, I don't know if we want to do that or not. I think what I will do is I'm going to expend this retain token to gain a Nemo, and that's going to move Nemo back to full strength. That gives us 2 wonders at the end of the game. All right, that is going to end the turn, and we'll start a new round. Getting close to the end, I think. I don't know if selecting the lull turn was a good choice or not. Doesn't look like it was. Okay, here is the next event. And that card is revealed to be Event 45, Vigo Bay.
This was the scene of the Battle of the 22nd of October, 1702. Here, galleons laden for the Spanish government had sunk. Here, Captain Nemo came, according to his wants, to pack up those millions which he burdened the Nautilus.
All right, that's a keep card. When the Nautilus is in the North Atlantic or European seas, you can fail the card and begin drawing treasure tokens one at a time. Stop drawing as soon as you draw a wonder or retain token. Keep all treasure drawn. At game's end, we would pass it if unused, and that would earn us 6 adventure points. All right. And now we have to make our placement roll, and here's the roll. We rolled a 2, 2, 5, and 6. So I'm going to use the 2 and the 6, and that's going to give us 4 action points. Now we have to place our ships. All right, we need to make our ship placements in Ocean 2, 2, 5, and 6. Okay, here's Ocean 2. We're going to have to reveal a hidden ship. And that one is the Fulmar. That's a British freighter. We'll put that in the Eastern Pacific. That's good. Next one is also in Ocean 2. And that is revealed to be the Huskar. All right. And I think we're going to place that in the Central Pacific. I'm not planning on staying there. Next is Ocean 5, and that is the European seas. We'll have to withdraw a ship token there. That one is the Deadly Seas token, the Mer Logistique. We're going to place 2 more ships. Oh my goodness. Place 2 more ships. Okay, here's the first one. Well, we got to place that one first. I guess we'll put that into the European seas. Oh, that's a nasty one. We got to place 2 more. And then that's the General Grant. That's an American freighter. And the second one is the Lord Clyde, a British ironclad. We'll place that there. And then we have to place one in 6. Okay, that's filled up, so we can place it in either 6 or 1. And here's one for 6. And that is the America. That's a freighter. Okay. And I think we'll place that in the Indian Ocean. This is getting pretty tight here. All right, we have 4 action points. All right, I think we'll begin by spending 1 action, and we're going to move into the Eastern Pacific. We'll spend another action, and we're going to do a stalk attack on the Fulmar. I want to get rid of that vessel before we do the search action. So we're going to start out by, I think, expending Nemo. That's worth a +2 and +1 for the stalk attack. All right. Has a hull strength of 9. Here's our +3 roll. And we mercifully rolled a 10. That's 13. So we've taken that prize. Notoriety will go up 1 to 33. And we're going to place the Fulmar in the Eastern Pacific. And now we have 2 actions left, and our choices would be to either conduct a rest to get the crew back up, or possibly an adventure. A search. I think that's the smart thing to do, is to do the rest action, and we'll attempt to get our crew up to speed again. So I'm going to exert Nemo for +2, and then I think we're going to spend a treasure. And I'm going to exert my largest treasure I have, and that's a 5. So this is a rest action, and we're at +7 modifier. We rolled a 5, +7 is 12, and that is recruit sailors. We're going to gain 2 crew, and that's just what I wanted. And that's going to move our crew up to fresh. Give us the chance of using the +3 modifier again, and it's worth 4 victory points, so I think that was worthwhile. That's going to exhaust all of our action points, and we're going to start another turn. And here is the event draw. And this is event number 84, Q ships deployed.
Filled with timber to sit low in the water and armed with marines and experimental depth bombs, these innocent-looking ships were deployed, hoping the Nautilus would engage them.
All right, that is a keep card for the rest of the game. When you attack a non-warship and roll doubles, you also suffer 1 hit when making a stalk attack, or 2 hits when making a bold attack. Keep this card in your tableau as a reminder. At game's end, it fails. Well, everything is coming against us right now. All right, that is placed into the keep area, and now we're going to make our placement roll. And here's our placement roll. All right, we rolled a 1, 3, 3, and 4. Now, we could take another lull turn. No action points. That would minimize placing an extra ship. Well, we're only going to get 1 action point out of this. Maybe the lull turn would be a better way to go. It would save us 1 extra ship from coming on board. We'd have to undergo another series of checks on the uprisings, though. I'm going to have to think about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the lull turn. We're going to use the 3 and the 3. So we'll be placing ships in 3, 3, and 4. So we have to make 2 placements in Ocean 3. That's completely filled up. So the next priority now is we have to flip a white non-warship token in that ocean or in an adjacent ocean to its gray side. All right, well, I think we will flip the Cutty Sark. That becomes the La Corona, an armored frigate. We have to do 1 more of those. And I think we'll flip the General Grant. That becomes the Modedoc. It's an armored frigate. And now we have to place 1 in Zone 4. And I think we'll flip the Scotia. And that becomes the Pensacola, a U.S. frigate. Okay. All right, next we're going to place a treasure token available in the doubled ocean. That's 3. And we can place 1 there. Okay. We also place 1 on the adventure deck. That's the 2nd. And now we have to check our uprisings. And we'll begin with the Western Pacific. There's 2 ships and 2 uprising tokens. That's a total of 4, so we have to roll 4 or greater to prevent the loss. Whoops, I got to roll 1 dice, not 2. We rolled a 6, so we're good. Next one is the Central Pacific. That has a total of 3, so we have to roll 3 or greater. We did not, so we've lost the Kamchatka, Hawaii. Okay. And finally is the South Atlantic. We have a total of 3 ships and 1 uprising. That's a total of 4. We need to roll 4 or greater. and we failed. So we've lost a lot of uprising because of those lull turns. I probably shouldn't have done it. We have no action points, so we'll start another event card. And the event card is, that's the finale, the Maelstrom. Oh.
Maelstrom! Maelstrom! They were shouting, the Maelstrom! Could a more frightening name have rung in our ears under more frightening circumstances?
All right, we have to do a 12 value test. We're able to exert Nemo, the crew, and the hull. If we pass it, we're going to gain 5 adventure and the game would end. If we fail it, we're going to lose 1d3 crew, 1d6 hull, and the game ends. Well, we have no option. This is a test, so we have to do it. It's a matter of whether we exert those things or not. If we don't, we'd have to roll boxcars. We have no modifiers. Well, the cost of failing this card would be incalculable. So I think we have to really make an attempt to try to pass this. So we're going to end up expending Nemo for 2, the crew for 3, and the hull for 1. That's going to give us a total of +6 for the dice roll modifier. And, well, I guess we'll just place it right here. Well, got to find a spot that I can set this down on. I think over here. Okay, so we're getting a +6, so we need to roll a 6 or better. I have no rerolls available. So this is a one shot do. So here we go. 4 and 6 is 10. So we have failed the card. Oh. Okay. So we failed the card. Now it's about the worst result we could have had. Each of the resources that we wagered, we're going to lose 2 slots on because the dice is not a 1. So we lose 2 slots. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then in addition, because we're failing the Maelstrom, we lose 1d3 crew. So I'm going to roll a d3 and find out how much of that we lose. It's a 1. All right, so we're going to lose 1 more crew. And then we lose 1d6 hull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we roll a 6, we are going to be defeated. Oh boy, here's the roll. And of course, we rolled a 6. Oh, oh my goodness. I can't even believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are defeated. Oh boy. And the rules state defeat, victory, and scoring. If you're defeated due to the complete loss of a ship resource, becoming a notorious pariah, the game ends immediately and scoring is skipped. Read the defeat section in Appendix E. So we don't even get to score any result other than a 6, and I would have at least been able to get a score. Oh, all right, we're going to read that. All right, we're going to read the Explorer Motive defeat level.
Pressing the limits of undersea knowledge, the Nautilus pushes too far and is lost with all hands. To this day, we still speculate about the final days and what really caused this tragedy. Nemo's incredible adventures will not stir the imagination of mankind until another 60 years have passed and speculative fiction once again sails with the tales of the high seas. Sadly, the world never learns of Captain Nemo, and his legacy is buried forever beneath the waves.
Well, that's going to bring our playthrough of Nemo's War Ultimate Edition to a close. What a sad ending. I really wish I could have at least did the scoring and find out how we did. We had, pretty many collected treasures, and I was able to get some tonnage on the tonnage track, and we had quite a few good cards in the pass category, but I guess we'll never know. One lousy dice roll against that hull, and that was enough to do me in. Oh boy. Well, thank you so much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, although it had a very nasty ending to it. I look forward to seeing you again on the channel when we bring you another playthrough. Thanks for watching, and have a nice weekend.